Today, I want to talk to you guys about what your chances of success are if you are going over to a country such as Ukraine to try and find a traditional relationship with a traditional woman that is far, far away from the toxic Western world. Okay, so what are my chances of success? Now, this is a question I get asked a lot, especially through email from people that find my YouTube channel. And they basically want to know from my experience, what's their chance of being successful over in Ukraine with finding a beautiful Ukrainian wife. And some of these emails that I get are very long and a lot of description. And I have photos of their house and their family and everything that sort of builds a profile of them. And they send it to me because I've got some experience and maybe I can tell them if they'll be successful or if they won't be successful. And I know that there are companies out there that say what success rates kind of are. They'll say that we have a certain success rate. Well, even if that was true, it doesn't matter anyway. And I'll tell you why it is. So the reason why it doesn't matter is because when people talk about chance of success, so you're saying, what is my chance of winning? So if you look at something like a casino, there is a certain chance. There's something that you can work out based on math. You can work out if you play a game a certain amount of times, if you play this certain hand, if this person has this hand, or if the house has this hand, there is a certain chance, a certain number that you can work out of you winning. And you can decide whether or not you want to play that hand or play that game. The problem with doing this and using words like chance of success is that there are too many variables involved. There are thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands. And what you're looking for is you are looking for two people that can connect in a way that they can form a relationship for the long term. And those little bits that connect together are few and far between. And there are so many things where people can clash and that it's not going to work. When I first started doing this, I thought that anybody that comes over here can be successful because I thought everybody that's doing this is serious, is reasonable, is realistic. I mean, well, why not, right? But something that I've learned over the last couple of years is that a lot of guys are not realistic. A lot of guys are not reasonable in what they are looking for. And a lot of this is because what's been sold to them on like YouTube and some of these blogs and, just basically people trying to get money. So they'll sell you a dream and there's absolutely no way they can deliver on that dream, but you're still sold on what you think you can get. So the chances of success for people with that mentality is virtually zero. I can't say zero because, there is always the chance of that actually happening. And one thing that I learned, like when I first started this, I also went into this. And I know a lot of guys are doing it because I get the emails and the messages of people talking about chances of success. So I know that people still think this, right? That there's a chance that there's some way to work out the chance of success. But I realized after the first time when I went over one of these companies, that it really doesn't matter what the chances of success are. And the way that I figured this out, or the way that my mind told me that this means fucking nothing, was that if you are realistic and you have the right expectations and you are a good guy, you're not going to do anything bad, you have the best intentions, you could go to one of these places that has taken your money and that you're not interested in any of the women that are there. Maybe they're like way older than you, or you just don't have that physical attraction. And I don't care if people say, oh, you're being too choosy or anything like that. It means, like, attraction is something that, especially for men, it's something that we can't control. Attraction, it's part of nature, it's part of our biology, it's how the human race has survived for so long. So instead of thinking about what's my chances of success, this is what you need to think about, okay? If you are serious about doing this, I want you to think about this. I want you to think about what's your chances of success in your own country. Because that's what it comes down to. Because you only have, there are a few other options, but if your mind is set on a country like Ukraine, or whether it's Thailand, Colombia, wherever you want to go, somewhere else in the world where you've heard that there are traditional women and you can have you don't have the fear of being basically screwed over like you would do in the West, then you have to think about what do you want to do? Because we know some statistics, right? We know these because they're out there. what is the chances of success in your own country? Well, we know in most Western countries, like it varies a little bit, it's around about 50% that you will be divorced. So if you and your friend get married this year, one of you is going to get divorced and most likely lose half of everything that he's ever worked for. So when you think about, like, if I go back to going to a casino, would you bet half of everything that you own on spinning the wheel? And if you win, you get to keep what you've earned. If you lose, then you lose half. It kind of makes no sense. And a lot of guys don't think about this. And I never thought about this. I've never been married, but even going into a relationship that could look like it was going to go into a long-term relationship, nobody tells you this stuff unless you go and research it. They don't teach it in school. Your parents don't teach it. I mean, my parents didn't. I mean, they're still married today. Nobody teaches you this stuff. So how are you supposed to learn this? You can only learn it the hard way, or from people that have learned it the hard way. Your chances of having a successful relationship where your children will grow up in a family where there is a mother and a father in a loving household is so, I'm going to say, ridiculously low. Now, even though I said that the chances of getting divorced or separation is 50%, we can't assume that those that stay together, the other 50%, those that stay together are happy. Like there's not going to be a line in the sand where it's like divorce, happy. I think it would be safe to assume that half of that other 50% are miserable. The guy is sleeping on the couch. He's using phrases like, it's cheaper to keep her. I'm going to put a link in the description below to a law firm. I think they're in San Diego, and they've come up with a whole bunch of, and I've actually seen these quoted a few other places on the web as well, but I want you guys to go and have a look at that. If you are on the fence as to, I might see how I go in the West, and I'm talking to you guys under the age of 30 who think that like you've got so much time to give it a go, like don't, please, like believe me, your chances of having a successful relationship in the West is exactly the same. In fact, in some cases, it's actually worse. And one of the stats that's in the link down below is that in a time span, and this is in USA, in the time span of watching a romantic comedy, there was something like 554 divorces that were processed or that were filed in this time span of that movie. Now just think about this for a second, right? We want to be in a relationship where we're happy. We want to be in a traditional relationship. All guys do. Nobody wants to be sleeping on the fucking couch. No guy wants to be like heating up like microwave dinners while his wife can't be, she's too tired to do that. All guys are looking for that. It's been so lost in the Western world that this feminism, it's almost been used as an excuse to say, well, hang on a second, I'm not going to be taking care of you. Why should I have to look after you? They don't stop to think that, hang on a second, the guy's like slogged his ass off and he's like worked hard and he's done what he's supposed to do as nature intended it, which was to provide. That's kind of like she's too lazy to do anything, or that she wants to file for divorce. And in the West, when it comes to someone filing for divorce, and I think in recent years, it was the women were filing, 75% of women were filing for divorce. So just think about that for a second, right? You're wanting the best. You're wanting to like have a family. You've probably got kids together, and the woman says, no, I'm out. She can do that because she's going to get a shit ton of resources from her friends, family, government, welfare, childcare, schooling, all that sort of stuff. So there's no reason for her to stay in the relationship, right? And as time goes on, things are only going to get worse. So why am I saying this? So I want you guys to understand, and this is mainly a call out to the guys that are a little bit younger that think that you guys have got time to have a look around and see what's going on. Believe me, I mean, I thought about doing this before I got into the third part of my relationship, and I thought I'll just give it another go. And it was absolutely devastating. You can give it a go at a relationship, but once it gets close to that 3 years, it doesn't even have to get to that 3 years. It can tie up 2 years, all the wealth and everything that you've ever worked for. It's just not worth it. So your chances of being successful in a Western relationship are absolutely ridiculous. So what other option do you have? You can choose to go down that nightmare roller coaster and see how you come out the other end. Or you can look overseas, where your chances of success, I believe, are a shitload higher. I mean, of course, like some people are going to argue that, well, once you find the woman and you take her to your own country, she can do the exact same thing that a woman from the West would do, right? And the answer is yes. If she has citizenship and she really wants to do that, she can do that. But here's the thing. That is not instilled in her. It's not something that she was brought up with because it's not in Ukraine. It's like, for that to happen is very, very rare unless you're with like a shit ton of money and the woman has resources to do that. She doesn't get a free lawyer. There's no wealth. Well, there's not really any welfare. She doesn't have the resources to do that like in the West. So for her to do that, she would have to have friends and some sort of support network that's pushing her to do that. Chances are that when she's come over to your country, she doesn't have a support network. Chances are her support network is other foreign wives, whether they're from Ukraine or Russia or Philippines or wherever. They sort of congregate together and they support each other and they encourage each other. And if there's some sort of problems within the marriage, they're going to help each other. They're not going to say, it's not going to be some bitter, twisted bitch from high school who, has already been divorced twice and she's like living off like two husbands' income for the last 5 years and she's saying, check out this. It's not going to be like that. She's not going to be in that environment. She's going to be in a different environment where her new friends are going to be seeing that her husband is taking care of her. If she was going to do that, take you to the cleaners, divorce rape you, then she already had that in her mind before she married you and before she came over, or somehow you fucked it up when you introduced her to your friends. But she would have already had that in her mind. And then if that's the case, then you fucked it up. Then you didn't do your research. You didn't figure out whether or not she's serious or if she's just trying to screw you over. So chances of success by going over to a country such as Ukraine to actually find a absolutely fucking stunning woman that's actually going to treat you well, appreciate you, and have those traditional values that we as men crave because of biology, because of evolution, because of who we are. Chances of success, it doesn't fucking matter. It really doesn't matter. The only time that it's ever really going to be a problem for you is if you're unrealistic. If you're expecting like some 40-year age gap, 30-year age gap even, then your chances of success are going to be very, very low. But for you guys that are choosing which one you should go with back in your home country or looking somewhere else, I can tell you from my experience, like hands down, no one could ever change my mind. If I only had one option, which was the West, and any relationship that got to 1 year, I would finish it. When it comes to Ukraine, any day of the week. The quality, and I'm not just talking about looks, but the quality of the woman that you will meet surpasses any woman that you've ever been with or you could ever meet in the West. So that's my video about chances of success in Ukraine. It doesn't matter, but be realistic, and for sure, you're going to have a better success rate, a happier life, and you're going to be able to live longer as long as you don't marry a woman from the West. If you liked the video, subscribe to my channel, and I guess I'll see you guys next time.